Hello and welcome to the West Coast Today podcast with me, Sandy Neal.
Me, Kathy Griffiths.
Me, Owen Wild.
And me, Fiona Scott.
In this podcast, we let you know about some of the stories making the headlines this week online at www.westcoasttoday.co.uk and in the printed edition of this week's Oban Times and also in the Lochaber Times. First up today is Kathy with some very alarming news.
Yes, so shocking news from Glencruitten Woods this week after sharpened metal spikes were found on a track used by cyclists earlier this month. Worse has happened. Police are now patrolling the woods after wire was strung tight at neck height between trees at the bottom of a steep cycle track on a blind bend. It's beyond horror at what the consequences could be. Read about this in this week's OT and online at www.westcoasttoday.co.uk. Over the sea on Ling, plans to reopen a historic slate quarry on the island, creating up to 7 jobs with backing from £2.1 million Scottish Government regeneration funding are a step closer. The Isle of Ling Community Trust has just announced a contract with the Crieff-based company MAM Contracting, so exciting times ahead for Ling. In Oban, pharmacy bosses have unanimously granted second time round opening permission for a new community pharmacy to open its doors, despite attempts by bigger chemists to shut the venture out of town. Zac Farm Limited is delighted with the decision, although Boots and MD Green haven't really confirmed what their next step will be.
Well, thank you very much, Kathy. Owen, what else is happening in and around Oban?
Thank you, Sandy. Well, it won't be in the paper until next week, but over on West Coast Today, we've just launched our brand new series, Spotlight On. In this series, we'll be shining the light on local clubs and trying out their activities to see what they're all about. For the first episode, I had a training session with the Oban Ravens squash team. It was my first time playing squash, and let me tell you, it's a very difficult and tiring game, but I had a lot of fun, and my legs have now stopped aching. So if you want to see how I got on, you can watch the video feature on West Coast Today right now. And in this week's paper, Tobermory Golf Club Greenkeeper John Wilshire is celebrating his 50th year ploughing the greens. John loves the course and the club, and for his 50th anniversary, will be launching the Greenkeepers Cup this June.
Thank you very much, Owen. Fee, what's happening up in Lochaber?
Thank you, Sandy. This week we've been on the case of charity champion Liz McMillan, who is on track to reach an absolutely amazing overall fundraising total of £90,000 by the end of November. The full-time childminder from Coole has been raising money for various local charities over the last 12 years. Liz has even set up her own Facebook page from which she raffles off or sells items which have been donated by very generous members of the Lochaber community. Her total by December last year had reached just over £85,000, and she is well on her way to reaching her targeted amount. To keep an eye on her Facebook progress or to contribute, visit the Liz's charity fundraising page on Facebook. Liz also stressed that she understands that people always haven't got money to give away, and that's absolutely fine. Only give if you can afford it. We're also keeping our fingers, toes and everything else crossed for Iona Grant, who is hopeful of being allowed to return to her home in Fort William after being stuck in a care home in Inverness since last November. Iona, who lives with cerebral palsy, has been waiting for a suitable care package to be put in place for over 6 months, and after much campaigning, her dogged determination looks to have paid off. Good luck with that, Iona. You can read all these stories in full and more in this week's Lochaber Times, or why not jump over to www.westcoasttoday.co.uk, where you will find news and features from all our titles here on the West Coast. Back to you, Sandy.
Thank you very much, Fee. Well, from me, with the Scottish Parliament election coming up, we asked the candidates wanting your vote some tricky questions. In our papers this week, and online at www.westcoasttoday.co.uk, you can read how they answered, or didn't. Meanwhile, traffic lights are set to continue on the A828 between Ledaig and Benderloch for 6 months more for the next phase of rock slope stabilisation, as drivers and neighbouring homes complain about ongoing disruption. And Oban Lifeboat is inviting people to sign up for the May Day Mile Fundraising Challenge, a key annual campaign to raise funds to continue the RNLI's operations saving lives at sea. I think that will do us this week. We love hearing your stories, so why not drop us an email at editor@obantimes.co.uk or editor@lochabertimes.co.uk, or you can give us a call on 01631 568 000, or of course you could message us on our socials. Many thanks for listening, and it's bye from me, Sandy Neal.
Bye from me, Kathy Griffiths.
Bye from me, Owen Wild.
And bye from me, Fiona Scott. Bye.
Bye.